So let's start today's session. Now, today's session is about understanding our own mind, which is the biggest asset that we have, and we use it to achieve everything in life, right? So, let's understand what mind is, how it works, what are the different connotations that we'll use in the future sessions, and the most important thing that we're going to do today is just a second. Okay, so we'll do three things today. One is understand the role of the conscious, the pre-conscious, and the unconscious mind. Normally, people talk about two minds, that's conscious and subconscious, right? But there was a philosopher, a psychoanalyst, we'll learn about him also. So he said that we can divide the mind into three aspects: the conscious, which we are aware of; the pre-conscious, that is you are not aware of right now, but yes, it's there at your disposal at any time; and then the unconscious, which is not in your control, hence it is called as unconscious. So we'll learn about these three aspects of the mind and what each of them do and how they work together. So how they operate individually and together, that's what we are going to see. And the most important thing, how will you train your subconscious or the unconscious mind to work for your benefit. Okay, so let's start. So Simon Freud, he is that philosopher or the psychoanalyst, and he said that mind can be categorized into three aspects: the conscious, the pre-conscious, and the unconscious. What we normally in our local language we call it as, or day-to-day language we call it as, subconscious mind. So some people call it as subconscious and some people call it as unconscious mind. Okay, now let's understand each one of these, what they really do. Okay, and we'll try to learn it by our own examples. Okay, the metaphors, the examples are very important to understand. So the conscious mind contains all the thoughts, memories, feelings, and wishes of which we are aware at any given moment of time. Okay, so do you guys daydream anytime? We sit in our office or in a chair or wherever we are sitting and we just dream about some things. Okay, I want this, I want that. So all the desires, the aspirations that we have today, okay, and we consciously have those aspirations. I want to do this, I want to achieve this, I want to meet this person, I want to go there, okay, on a vacation, or meet someone, or do this. So all these plans that we are making and the desires and the aspirations that we have are consciously thought about. Okay, so that is what we are doing in our conscious mind. So even if you go into a meditation class, they talk about the consciousness. So that concept of consciousness can also be called as awareness. We are aware of doing something, we are conscious of doing something. So that part of the mind which is consciously working is called as the conscious mind. Okay, and we have a very small part of our mind which is consciously aware. Okay, and it does all these activities. So this is also the aspect of a mental processing that we can think and talk about rationally, because we are aware of it, and when we are aware of it we can think and talk about it rationally, means by applying the logic. Okay, so when I am talking to you, I am applying certain logics and then I am talking to you. When we talk with people, or we give a lecture, or we do anything in life, we apply rationality. Okay, means it can also be called as something which is in our control. So if I can control it, I can rationalize it. I'll see the situation, I'll see the circumstances, and then I will speak accordingly. Okay, so I'm applying the principles of rationality. So this is possible only when you are working out of your conscious mind, right? And then those times come when we go out of control, or we see people going out of control, either because of anger or anxiety or something or the other, and then they speak some things which we just listen and we think, where is he speaking from? Right? Does this happen with you? Either we speak that way or somebody else does. in front of us, and we realize that how is this guy speaking? I mean, I don't understand. Is he not applying his mind? So those things which are coming out of his mouth, you can say, are controlled by his unconscious mind, which is not in our control. So when we see people doing irrational things, they are governed at that moment of time by their unconscious or the subconscious mind. The subconscious or the unconscious has taken over his conscious mind. Therefore, it has overridden the conscious mind. So therefore, the rationality is gone and he speaks just out of his unconscious thought process. So we'll study that as well today. Okay. So consciousness is about awareness. It is about rational thinking. Okay. And it also includes a memory which is not always part of the consciousness but can be retrieved easily and brought into awareness. So it also includes the memory, like we study so much, okay, in our degree courses or in a CA course or whatever you are doing right now or you have done in the past. So when we study as students, we study so much and then we forget those things also, right? They go out of our mind. But don't worry, it is not gone totally out of your mind. It is there in your memory, and as soon as you recall it with certain links, with certain anchors, it comes back. Okay, so that is part of conscious mind. So two things are important to understand. It is the awareness plus the rationality. Okay, the principles of logic. And we'll study these also in sessions to come in more detail. Then comes the preconscious. Preconscious is between the unconscious and the conscious. So here I am not fully aware of it, but it is there to be tapped at any given moment of time. It can be tapped very easily. Okay. So if we compare this with a computer, then it will be very easy to understand. So in a computer, what happens is that you have a RAM, random access memory, right? Which is being used by your computer to do all the processing at that moment of time. Okay, the complete processing is done in the RAM, the logical processing. Then you have the cache memory, also sometimes pronounced as cache memory, which is actually part of your hard drive, but it can be considered as a subordinate RAM. It's called as cache memory, which can be tapped at any given point of time. Okay, when I need that memory, I can tap it. And then there is a hard drive. Okay, the hard drive which is at the back of the computer, where you dump everything. Okay, you dump all the data on your hard drive to be stored for time immemorial. So that hard drive is your subconscious or the unconscious mind. Okay, so you have three aspects now. Now you can easily remember. Just hold on a second. Okay, so conscious is the aware state, the random access memory. The preconscious is your cache memory. So what it says, the preconscious contains the thoughts and feelings that a person is not currently aware of, but which can be easily brought to consciousness. Okay, so it happens many a times that we are talking with somebody or we are, just doing our work, and suddenly some things come to our mind. Oh, I remember. Oh, I remember. This happens. Oh, I remember something. So that memory or that process is being dealt with your preconscious mind. Okay, and the preconscious is like a mental waiting room. It's a waiting room. Thoughts remain until they succeed in attracting the eye of the consciousness. So it's waiting there, and then suddenly it catches the eye of your consciousness, means it comes into awareness. And then that moment comes, the aha moment. Oh, I realize. Oh, I get it. Oh, this happens. Oh, I remember. Okay, so this is in between the unconscious and the conscious. And the last point, the most important aspect that we have to really tap, that is the most powerful mind that we have, is the unconscious, the sleeping beauty right now. And we have to bring it into awareness in the course of these sessions. So that's our target. As much of the unconscious we can, tap and make it aware, bring it into the awareness state. The more we learn, the more we'll succeed in our goals. Okay. So this is a reserve. So we need to first understand what this is and how it operates. So here we'll spend a little bit more time. So this is a reservoir of feelings. Reservoir, as I said, hard disk. You just compare it with your hard disk, so it becomes very easy to understand. So what we do with the hard disk, we dump all the data. Say I bought a computer, say 10 years back. So since these 10 years, all the data has been dumped on my hard drive. Okay. And then we have a recycle bin also, which we learn in the course of these sessions. Unfortunately, in our mind, we don't have a recycle bin. We don't throw away all the negative energies, the negative influences, the negative, thoughts. We don't use a recycle bin quite often. We should use the recycle bin, and that's a technique that we learn in future sessions. Okay, how to use the recycle bin. So anyways, it is a reservoir of feelings, thoughts, urges, and memories that are outside of our conscious awareness. And in one of the previous sessions, I had told you that we also have a concept called as muscle memory. That's a new thing in psychology and not much researched about right now, but yeah, a lot of research is going on there in muscle memory concept. And a few cases have come which are scientifically proven that these days you transplant a lot of organs like liver transplant, kidney transplant, and these things go on. So there has been instances in the past, and these are scientifically recorded and proven, that person A's kidney was transplanted in person B, and suddenly person B used to do some things, or he had certain behavioral aspects which were not there with him earlier. Means his behavior changed. Sometimes the talking changed. They got a lot of old memories which were not of that person but of the first person whose kidney was transplanted in the second person. So that means that the memory, or what we can say the mental processes, even the decision making, the memory, the behavior, the feelings, okay, all these things are not just stored in your brain. So when we talk about mind is not just our brain. Okay, it is everywhere. It is in all our cells. Each cell also has its own memory and has certain aspects of decision making and all these cognitive abilities. So when the kidney was transplanted into person B started acting as person A. See, that's an amazing thing, right? So that is the concept of, the cognitive abilities. So it's not just contained in your mind. Mind is one part of it, but then the whole body is there. All the cells of the body also hold that memory for you. So that's an important thing to learn. And therefore, what it says, that it is outside our conscious awareness. So we don't consciously know it or remember it right now, but it's there. So we have memory, as I told in one of the earlier sessions, since our earliest mankind. Like the theory says that Adam and Eve were the first persons on the world, or whatever it was. So from then, and even before, because ultimately, though we are not going to study spirituality right now in this sessions, in this course, but yeah, it is the soul which brings that memory through your unconscious or subconscious state and passes it on for years together. So the soul is existing even millions and billions of years before the body came into existence. Yeah, the first man was born what, 1 million years back, or maybe 2 million years back, but our souls have been existing for billions of years. I don't know much about it, don't ask me any question with that, but yeah, that's what has been taught to us through our religious scriptures, whether you take any religion for that matter. Okay, they are all the same. I don't know why people fight over religion, because every religion is ultimately the same thing. People who don't understand keep fighting, but never mind, we are not going to that aspect. So but if you consider that concept just for the purpose of discussion, so our memory our subconscious mind, it contains knowledge, it contains memory, it contains uh, the facts and figures which have been with us for billions of years. Firstly, through our soul, and then through our body. So that's amazing, isn't it? So just imagine if we were to tap even 2%, 3% of that memory, we could realize that what happened 1,000 years back and what happened 10,000 years back and what happened a million years back. It's all there inside your subconscious mind. And humankind has been developing over the years. We are progressing, we are evolving. And a time will come, I'm certain of that, a future time will come when we will realize those things, when we will be able to, tap those depths of our subconscious or the unconscious mind, and we'll be able to tap that information which has been with us since billion of years. People call it as inventions, and we'll talk about that in the later sessions. You have to become an inventive thinking. What is an inventive thinking? What is exploring? And all these concepts. But where does these invention come from? They come from your mind. Your mind thinks that, okay, this is possible, or something, a new idea comes in. Okay, so all that startup and all these people that they talk about, and they take so much pride in themselves, actually it is all already a part of you since you were born. I personally believe nothing new comes into existence. We are just exploring what is already here in our minds. We are just exploring one bit at a time, like mining. Okay, there's gold mine. You don't produce gold. Gold is already there. You just go and pick. You just extract that gold from the mine. So we are just extracting what is there in our mind since time immemorial. So it's such a beautiful thing. Your mind is capable of unimaginable things right now. They are unimaginable because you don't know about them. But if you get down there, if you can tap, then just imagine what can happen. Okay, so all these people who are called as inventors and explorers and all, they are just tapping a little bit of their unconscious mind. So let's see, then further moving. So most of the contents of the unconscious are unacceptable or unpleasant, such as feelings of pain, anxiety, conflict. Yeah. So when we talk about unconscious, there are two aspects of it, the good thing and the bad thing. Unfortunately, as I said, so when you dump your information on the hard drive, it contains both the good and the bad. Okay, the malware, the viruses, they also get stored on your hard drive. So time and again what you have to do is clean that bad part. Yeah, you have to run the antivirus, you have to run the anti-malware systems to clean your hard disk. And the same thing we have to keep doing. If we don't do it, then what happens is that our mind gets corrupted. Okay, so all these things, the bad feelings, the anxiety, the conflict, everything that gets stored over time, and we'll discuss this, how it gets stored. And one of the things we have already discussed, that it gets stored there because of past experiences. Okay, so your mind makes certain patterns of thought process, and if something goes wrong, it learns that this is wrong. But if too much focus is given on that through conscious state, then what happens is that your subconscious mind registers it as something which is very bad, though it had to just learn a lesson out of it. But you didn't take it that way. Your conscious mind subjected an idea on your subconscious mind that this is very bad, don't do it again. I was embarrassed in front of so many people. Okay, like for example, a simple example I can give, that you think of an idea of doing a business and your friends ridicule it. You tell your friends that I've got this amazing idea. So you were thinking very high of yourself, and then your friends ridiculed you. This is all rubbish, bullshit, and so on and so forth. Sorry. So what happens is that you get that very bad feeling, and then you tell your subconscious mind that never give me that idea. So consciously you are subjecting that impression on your subconscious mind that I have done something gravely wrong, though actually you were not wrong, but your friends said so, and it impacted you so heavily that you are pushing it down on your subconscious mind, that don't think about this anymore, anytime again. Don't do it. And your subconscious mind is very, it doesn't understand anything. Whatever you say through your conscious mind, it will accept it. So it accepts that fact that this is wrong. And then next time it will not give you that idea. Then those becomes fears. They turn up into phobias, and they are stored, and your subconscious gives the same impulse every time it gets into that situation. So next time somebody will ask you for a business idea, and your subconscious mind will say, don't give any idea, otherwise you will be ridiculed again. So this happens, and when it happens continuously, a pattern forms, and then you will never be able to do business because the subconscious will never support you. So that's how all these fears and phobias and anxieties build in our minds. Okay, so we are going to remove them, of course, in the sessions to come, because this is something which is not helping you. In fact, it is pulling you down. So we need to remove those memories. We have to remove those anxieties. Okay, so that's what your subconscious or unconscious do. Further, our feelings, motives and decisions are actually powerfully influenced by our past experiences. See, so next time a friend or anybody, your boss, asks you for a business idea, you will not be able to give it because of your subconscious mind. Your subconscious mind will pull you down at that point of time. So even if consciously you think of some idea, but your subconscious will not support it. It will try to protect you from being ridiculed again, because that was the result that you had got the last time. Yeah. So our actions, our motives, our feelings are ultimately influenced, powerfully influenced by our subconscious mind. So it will not help you in that matter. Then further, there's a new concept also of adaptive consciousness, which says that most information processing that happens in our mind, all the processing which happens, it happens in the unconscious or the subconscious mind. It doesn't happen in the conscious, it happens in the subconscious mind. And that is for the reason of efficiency, because our conscious mind is distracted a lot of time because it has to deal with all the senses as well. So like I am talking with you right now. So there are a lot of things which are going on in my conscious mind, like what should I speak next, and then what, and then what. So the whole thought process is, being created. Now in this extra active mind, I will not be able to process the information correctly many a times. So when we are speaking out of conscious state at all times, we make a lot of mistakes while speaking, or while delivering a lecture, or even in examinations. We write wrong answers because we are just focusing on our conscious mind. And I'll give you another example which all of you will agree with me. Many a times it happens that when we are studying something and we are stuck somewhere, we are not able to get the answer, and then we sleep over it. We go to sleep at night tired. Okay, let's see, we'll discuss it tomorrow. And then suddenly in the middle of the night, you get the answers. Yeah, it has happened with you. You get the answers in the middle of the night while sleeping, or maybe early in the morning. It has happened with me a lot of times. Yeah, people are saying yes, it happens. It happens with all of us. And many times we think that, how did this happen? I mean, I was focusing so much, I studied 3 hours and 4 hours on that, and I was not able to get the answer. I was not able to solve the problem. But then in the night, in the middle of the night, out of nowhere, I get those answers. That means that the processing is being done in your subconscious mind, which is never asleep. It is always awake. We sleep. When we sleep at night, the conscious mind goes to rest, but the subconscious is always working. All our bodily functions, heart, kidney, and everything is being controlled by the subconscious mind. Yeah. So it is also the engraved memory. The things that have to be the operating system of a human being, like there is operating system of Windows. So operating system of a human being is in the subconscious mind. So it can never sleep. It is always working. So we get dreams at night. We get so many other things at night. We get nightmares as well. So that is all part of your subconscious or unconscious mind. Okay, so it is also responsible for processing of information, and this is a beautiful thing that we all need to learn. Very important thing. Whenever you face with complex things in life, okay, have faith on your subconscious mind. And this is what even the biggest scientists used to do. And you study their biographies and you will find how they use their unconscious or the subconscious mind. So what they used to do, even Einstein and other scientists, that they used to study about something, they used to, do research, a lot of research and activities, and then they slept over it. They fed all that information to the subconscious mind, and at night, before going to sleep, they used to give an instruction to the subconscious mind that, look, I have given you this information, I need a solution, I need an answer. And then they used to sleep. There was another scientist, and they used to get the answers in the middle of the night. So what they used to do, that he used to, Albert Einstein, he used to keep a notepad on his bedside table, and with a pen, and then he used to sleep. And then suddenly, when he would get this, the intuition, the answers, he would wake up in the night, he would write it down, and then again go back to sleep. Because what happens is that most of the dreams, like it happens to dreams, we see such beautiful dreams in the middle of the night, but when we get up, we forget those dreams. Okay, so that memory transfers from subconscious to conscious, and then it again goes down. So by the time we are awake, we become aware in the morning, we cannot recollect. So therefore it's very important to do this exercise. You also start doing it. Whatever complex problems you have in life, just push it down to your subconscious, give an instruction that, look, I need the answer, and then go to sleep with a notepad on your bedside table. And when you get these answers in the middle of night, just wake up, write it down, and then go back to sleep. So the next morning when you will wake up, you will have those answers ready for you. Then there was another scientist. What he used to do is that he used to do this research, okay, and then on his chair itself, he used to go to sleep. Not complete sleep, but that mid sleep, which we call as just a relaxed state. And we'll achieve these relaxed states in future sessions through meditation. Okay, so he used to go into that relaxed state with a ball in his hand, a metal ball. Okay, he used to just carry that metal ball, and he will go to sleep on his chair with his hand like this. So whenever he will go in a deep sleep, the hand will open automatically and the ball will fall on the surface. A sound will come which will wake him up. So you don't need to go into deep sleep. If you go into deep sleep, then you're gone. So there is that middle sleep, okay, the relaxed state of your mind. So that's very important to get these answers, because at that state your subconscious is active. You have kept your conscious to sleep, the subconscious is active, and that's a very important state for getting these answers. So he used to do that. So as soon as the ball will fall, he'll again wake up, and then he will again go. So he need not go into the very deep sleep, but he has to stay in that middle portion. So there are amazing stories, okay, of these scientists, how they use their unconscious mind, and we also need to learn from them. Then moving ahead, the subconscious is the source of intuition and inspiration as well. So all the intuitions that you get, the gut feeling, as we call it, the gut feeling, I have the gut feeling we need to do this, or the intuitions, okay, they also come from your subconscious or the unconscious mind. The problem with normal people is that since we have not tapped or trained the unconscious, we don't believe in our intuitions. And as we don't believe, we don't act, we miss a lot of opportunities in life. But with the proper training, as we are going to study, with the proper training and proper tapping of the unconscious mind with the belief that what it is telling us is true, we have to act on it, we'll have that habit of intuition, we'll make intuition a habit and belief, and then we'll do it and become successful in life. So as I said some time back, all the big inventors have not invented anything. Just tell me, has anyone invented anything? Person who found, say, gold. Has he invented anything? No. He just took out gold from the mine. We cannot produce matter, only God has the capacity of producing something. We just convert something into something else, and that mind of converting is already there. You have to tap it. Okay. Then it never sleeps. As I told you, it never sleeps. It continuously runs 24/7. It thinks in the form of symbols, metaphors, and visual forms. This is again a very important point to learn. Your subconscious mind doesn't understand alphabets. Okay, it doesn't understand language. It understands symbols, and therefore all the big companies have their own logos, right? And the whole concept of loyalty, customer loyalty, and brand image, and the concept of branding is because of this. So with a proper logo, you can directly enter the mind of your customers, bypassing their conscious mind, because conscious mind is thoughtful mind. It can negate what you're saying. It may not accept what you're saying, but a logo goes directly into the subconscious mind. The brand goes directly into the subconscious mind, bypassing the conscious mind, and therefore you can control the minds of your customers. See, that's how they do it. So therefore, Apple, if you just write the word Apple, Apple, that may not be registered by the subconscious mind. Your customers will forget about the brand after a few days. But since that logo is there, it directly enters the subconscious mind, and once something goes into subconscious, it is never forgotten. This is another very amazing thing of subconscious. It never forgets. So there have been cases, you must have heard about this psychoanalysis, so what and hypnotism. So scientists have proved this. They have put a person in hypnotic state and asked about his childhood, which we consciously don't remember. If you ask me today what I used to do as a 2-year-old kid, I wouldn't remember anything, and none of us remember. But if you are put under that psychoanalysis test, we'll be able to tell everything. Because what they do is they put us under hypnotism or under the psychometric, psychoanalysis test. They put some narcotic substances and negate the conscious. They put the conscious mind to sleep, and then they can talk directly with the subconscious mind. So subconscious mind gives all the answers, and correctly. So you cannot falsify your subconscious mind. It will give all true answers. And that's what the CID also do. They put the psychoanalysis test and then take out the truth from the person. Okay, so that is amazing. So subconscious mind remembers everything. Okay, so it never sleeps. It remembers everything, and it remembers symbols, metaphors, and visual forms. So when we will train our subconscious mind, we'll use these techniques, and then you can use it in business also. So use symbols to represent your business, use symbols, use visual graphics to push your commodities, to push your products in the subconscious mind of your customers. And you can become the next Apple or Google. Who knows? Okay. Then it cannot differentiate between illusion and reality. Another very important point. And we are going to use this. It doesn't know the difference in illusion and reality. Means this has actually happened or this is just an illusion. It doesn't remember. It doesn't differentiate. And one example I had given you earlier in one of the sessions, that when you wear that VR, these days a lot of VRs are there, the virtual reality goggles. So when you wear them and you see a lot of images in that VR, your mind considers it to be real. And it gives the same impulses to your body, your hand and feet, as if this is happening in reality. Though it is not. Or another example I can give you, we go and watch a movie, right? So when we go to a movie and there is a very serious scene out there, very emotional scene, most of us starts crying. We start crying, So what's happening? It is just a movie. It's just a movie. Nothing is happening in real. But the mind doesn't understand. If we are focused, When we are focused on something and we are seeing the visual things, it goes into the subconscious, right? The movie goes directly into the subconscious. Remember, you don't watch a movie consciously, you watch a movie subconsciously because it is in the image form. So image goes in, the video is going in, subconscious will give us the same emotions as if this is happening in reality. So therefore, how we'll train our subconscious mind? Through illusion as well. So one technique I had taught you in the earlier session, that when you have a negative anchor, remember, if you're seeing a person and that person has very bad emotions for you, I mean he's a bad anchor, so whenever you see him, you get angry, you get agitated, you get aggressive, you know. So next time what you'll do, replace his face with some good image of another, some beautiful person who gives you a lot of peace, right? So through illusion, through an image which is created by your mind, so consciously you put that image in front of that person's sight, okay, and you'll feel the difference. So that is how we'll use images and even illusion to train our subconscious mind. So what do we need to do? So once we have understood the conscious and the subconscious mind, what do we need to do now for our success? Number one, understand. So we'll understand, number one, our belief system. So belief system means what we believe as true. Somebody asked, what is truth? What is truth? I told him, truth is only a belief until it is proved to be wrong. See, every truth is a belief. Today I am believing that the sun rises from the east. What if it is proved to be wrong tomorrow? Somebody may prove it to be wrong. He can bring a new theory, a new fact, which says that no, it's not east, it's actually northeast. Then what? We'll say, okay, so it was false. So our belief was false. Now a new truth has come into existence. So every truth is nothing but a belief, okay? And these beliefs are what we accept as truth. So if I accept that I am not a good singer, if I accept it, then it becomes a truth for me. Somebody has told me, a lot of people have told me in the past that Farooq, don't sing. You are not a good singer. You don't have a good tune. You know, I have believed them for long. And since I believed, it has become a part of my subconscious mind. So now whenever I start singing, the mind doesn't support it. There is a self-doubt which comes immediately. Farooq, somebody will listen and he will, you know, again ridicule you, so don't sing. So I can never become a good singer because my mind is not supporting me. And that is how our self-doubts come into being. So how many of you have self-doubts on some or the other aspect? Okay, a lot of us, almost all of us have self-doubts. Yeah. So if you start thinking right now, it will take 2 and 3 hours just to, you know, list down your self-doubts. But that is what you need to do. So today's exercise is you list down your self-doubts. Okay. Because those self-doubts may be because of a negative belief, which is not true. That's the important point, which is not true. Okay, we are not all born intelligent. Yeah, right? We have to learn things. So if I have, say, got less marks in mathematics, doesn't make me, you know, a bad person in mathematics. I can learn. There might be several reasons for that. Probably the teacher was not good. Probably her voice was not good. I didn't like her voice and therefore I didn't focus on what she was teaching. And therefore I got less marks. Next class, it continued. I got less marks because my basics were not good. And after 3 years, I was labeled as a bad mathematician. Okay. And I believed in my mind that I'm not good in maths. So now for life, the whole life, my mind will always believe that I'm not good in maths. And the same thing happens for so many things in life. We start believing. So these are what we call as the negative beliefs. They are not helping you and they are not true. So what we need to do is remove them. So we learn how to eliminate these negative beliefs, and impose empowering beliefs, powerful beliefs, the faith, the trust. Okay, so we'll remove the negative and build the positive beliefs. That's one thing we'll do. Secondly, thought patterns. We think in pattern. Every one of us has made a certain pattern of thinking, and sometimes it is good, sometimes it is not good. So again, we'll identify the bad patterns. The neurons in our mind form certain patterns, so we'll remove that as well. Okay, and the third thing we'll do is triggers. So we have talked about triggers in the previous session. Okay, the triggers are the anchors. The anchors are on what the memory is based. So there's anchor, the memory is stuck to that anchor. So if that anchor happens again, like we discussed last time, the bell in the school, when the bell rang, we automatically got hungry, right? Food should make us hungry, but even the bell was making us hungry, just because the break for the tiffin break and bell, they happen together. Okay, so we need to identify these triggers which are bad for us, which are creating or evoking wrong responses. Okay, we are getting angry at people, we are getting agitated. So we need to identify these triggers. We need to identify what is causing this trigger to happen, and we need to resolve those triggers. Okay, once we do this, then what happens is that we get all the positive aspects of our mind to work for us and not the negative side of it. So that's what we are going to do in the sessions to come.